Welcome back to Los Angeles. In America's election headquarters tonight, early voting is now underway next door in Arizona for the August 28th primary. The Republican race for Senate is particularly rough and tumble. Correspondent Alicia Acuna tells us why tonight from Phoenix.
Republicans are locked in a heated primary battle to defend a Senate seat the GOP has held for 3 decades.
Nasty? I don't think it's nasty.
Former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio is one of 2 candidates on the far right. He bristles at party critics who say he is splitting the conservative Trump base vote.
We are going to bring the heat to drain the swamp.
Former state senator Kelly Ward, who unsuccessfully challenged Senator John McCain 2 years ago, claims Arpaio at age 86 is past his prime. Her husband said Arpaio is unlikely to live long enough to finish a 6-year Senate term.
But bringing that out, how much lower can you get?
You know, Joe's been a folk hero. He's been somebody who has been important in Arizona, and I hate to see the people he's surrounding himself with on his campaign really ruining the legacy that he has left.
Even though President Trump pardoned him and the administration has shown support,
Sheriff Joe Arpaio, I'm honored to have you here.
There has been no endorsement in the race.
I've got the strongest voting record with President Trump, long before I was ever running in the Senate.
Former fighter pilot and 2-term Congresswoman Martha McSally is the front runner, yet she has been called out for warming to a president she has been critical of in the past.
We are keeping our eye on that target while we're engaging with primary voters and we're unifying Republicans behind us.
All this plays out in front of a changing Arizona electorate. Hispanics now make up 30% of the population and independent voters hold sway. Democratic frontrunner Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema is counting on. The one-time Green Party activist continues to distance herself from her past, even saying this about the president.
I'll take it as it comes. Stand with him with the good and oppose him when it's wrong.
The other major race here, governor. Incumbent Republican Doug Ducey faces 2 others in a bid for a second term. There are also 4 candidates running in the Democratic primary. Who ultimately wins in November could have a huge impact in Washington. With Senator John McCain's continued absence, it's possible this state's governor, through appointment, could control the federal balance of power. Brett.
Big deal. Alicia Acuna in Phoenix. Alicia, thanks. Tonight, President Trump is talking about even higher tariffs, even more Chinese imports. China is now threatening again retaliation. Well, here in California, that could affect one particular industry in potentially a devastating way. National correspondent William Lajeunesse explains.
From California fields to Beijing markets, a prolonged trade war hurts both.
China represents over $1 billion market for us.
China, typically buys about 30% of the pecans grown in the United States.
The big worry right now is what happens if we're in a prolonged dispute.
At a recent California Food Expo, the Trump trade war took center stage. China is the state's 3rd largest export market.
You name it, we grow it here.
Since April, China slapped new tariffs on $2 billion in California commodities, 45% on pistachios, 53% on grapes, 65% walnuts.
No grower likes to see tariffs imposed.
Out of the thousands of products that China imports from the United States, why pistachios and almonds? Well, one reason, pressure. While California voted for Clinton, 4 of the 5 largest nut-producing counties voted for Trump. If they feel the pain, he feels the pressure. And some believe the Chinese have specific targets in mind.
We'll look at congressional districts, what's grown in that district, and who the leadership is.
Which includes House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy from Bakersfield and vulnerable Central Valley Republicans Jeff Denham, David Villado, and Devin Nunes.
Where they first attack is where they know that they're going to hear from the folks, and California agriculture definitely is very vocal when it comes to these issues.
We sell apples all around the country and export all around the globe.
But trade policy from Washington puts orchards like Mark's at risk.
The Farm Bureau joined the coalition Farmers for Free Trade, whose national ad campaign tries to balance support for the president while opposing his policies.
We're very optimistic about the economy under President Trump. However, we're very concerned about the trade policies from Washington.
So this game of chicken continues between the U.S. and China. Farmers fear that customers are going to start sourcing their products in competitors. Take wine, 35% tariff, California wine, Chile, New Zealand, Australia, 0%. They win you lose.
You know, we've been trying to analyze the political fallout, potentially. President Trump called into Rush Limbaugh's radio show today. He said he acknowledged there could be some short-term pain for farmers, but it could go beyond all that.
Well, sure. Think about, I mean, the supply chain in farming, you've got the fields, you've got the trucks, you've got the processing plants, you've got the ports, 50% of the traffic, L.A., Long Beach, Oakland. Those are a lot of jobs, and some red state voters or districts are going to say, hey, you know what, if my Republican congressman can't solve this problem, may I'll turn to somebody who will.
Yeah. Whether the pain, how long it lasts, that's the question. William, thank you very much. Interesting.